I'm going to be playing some of the worst games of recent memory. Do I really need a prop? I'm going to be playing some of the worst games of recent memory, and I need to leave a perfect score on all of them. While being completely honest, I am a sucker for a bad game. I say hit me harder and softer. Trust, it is going to be hard to find any redeeming qualities in Lord of the Rings Gollum. But before we trudge through that mess, Sonic 06. Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 is touted as one of the worst games of all time. And like, in competition with a couple other Sonic games as being the worst Sonic game of all time. Me and Sonic 06 go way back. I actually got this game on release. I was born in 2002 and Sonic 06 came out in 2006, and I couldn't get past the starting room. This game fried my 4-year-old mind so bad. I couldn't figure out how to get to the first level, so I rewatched the intro cutscene for like a week, and what an experience it was. This cutscene goes crazy. Sonic in the aughts had insane aura. He just pulls up and wrecks everything. It looks like every animation was done with an Xbox Kinect, and I seriously forgot how bad all of the voices are. Sonic sounds like he's completely disconnected from any conversation he's in.
It's most definitely a trap. I don't think Eggman will honor his agreement.
I'm going.
I watched Snapcube's redubs over and over again, obviously, and the voices are genuinely better.
Knuckles, why would you listen to music on a Game Boy? That's not what a Game Boy is for.
You're right, it's what a Switch is for.
Not gonna say what I said last time, because that was weird. All right.
Wait, what?
Hey, don't take me anywhere. Oh, fuck!
And that wouldn't exist without this game. And that's another point for Sonic 06. I love how the princess gets captured and flown away from the fastest being alive. And he apparently can't do anything but stand there as she's being captured at 0.5 miles per hour. Because the game really gives you time to think with how much dead air there is between the shots.
I've been looking for you. You're the Iblis trigger. Your actions will condemn us all.
Who are you?
My name is Silver.
I came to terms with death in every way. Here. This is a barrier too great for young nutties to ever pass. And here I am all these years later, with ancient wisdom strong enough to know that I have to press X to dash along a line of rings. Here we go. This is so iconic. I remember this being the ultimate form of gaming criticism on YouTube. Why can Sonic stand on the roof of this loop-de-loop? Boom, it's over. Clearly the worst game of the decade. This beach level is actually pretty nice despite the jank. The music was good and I liked the scenery. Playing as Tails is aggravating. He is slow and has the worst attack ever. He throws coins, but only 2 feet in front of him, so it's ranged, but you have to be right next to the enemy where in half a second they can turn around and hit you. The hub is so flat and empty. You spend a lot more time walking around the central hub talking to human characters to get the lore than I ever expected. How absolutely insane is it that Sega insisted on plopping Sonic into a world full of regular human characters, besides him and Eggman, for 15 years? He looks deformed. These anthropomorphic characters do not fit in this world. Look at the princess and Sonic making intimate eye contact. Sonic's eyes are lady killers, dude. The silver boss fight is torture. They put the only form of life currency right behind the guy that instantly kills you if you get too close. And even if you do got a bit of change in your pocket, if you're up against the wall, you get stun locked until death while hearing, you can only hit him while he is levitating boxes. God, that took a while. I'm happy with the reward of the serene guitar playing in the background. This serenade is at the end of every level, even the middle of the volcano one. Honestly, I'm not having a bad time. There's no worm in my brain begging me to put down the controller and get on TikTok. It's fun. This game is fun. I don't expect anything better from Sonic games, and at least I'm always doing something, you know? If you can figure out who the captain is, come back and talk to me. There were 5 soldiers, including me, in this town. Talk to all of them. Yeah, that's one way to do it for sure. Why are we going into a loading screen? What? Oh. I'm talking to every soldier until I find the commander. This is flawless game design. It looks like it all points to you, and it shouldn't be, and I'm honestly gonna firebomb your house if this is all a prank. You guessed it. I'm the captain. You delayed saving the princess to prank me. That's dedication. You're gonna be on the news, dude. I'm actually playing this not on an Xbox, so the main criticism of this game, the loading screens, didn't really affect me, but I can imagine. You talk to the commander, loading screen. Another talk with the commander, loading screen. Talking to the soldiers, loading screen. Locking in your answer, loading screens. And if you get it wrong, you have to do it all again. My loading screens are 4 seconds long. I can just imagine if they were like 3 minutes long like it was on the Xbox 360. But that's not my problem. Give Sonic 06 some points for being optimized for consoles 20 years in the future. I want to see some points. Give me some points. The snowboarding section is insane. The amount of times that a random camera change will instantly stop all momentum that you have, especially at the part where the snowball is going down the hill and you're right in front of it, and then the camera swaps and you instantly come to a complete stop. This level also has the spike poles that follow you and read your inputs. Now, this story makes no sense at all, but it doesn't really affect me. You see, I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring, and I think its esoteric story told through item descriptions that I'm not gonna read prepared me to be okay with not understanding anything that's happening here. Another point for Sonic. Wow, what an amazing Sonic 06 experience. I didn't play Shadow or Silver's campaign, even though Shadow was my favorite. Because Sonic is the name of the game, dude. I'm gonna push down that feeling that I'm committing a sacrilegious act by putting you on game, because objectively this game is flawless, 10 out of 10. The one good thing that came from this franchise, and it's not even their quote, they stole this: Duke Nukem Forever. What an absolute subversive masterpiece. The beginning of this game really sets the tone. It's like this game is a parody of Doom Eternal, but 10 years before Doom Eternal actually came out. The alien invasion is happening in the background and we do not care. I was really wondering why this game got absolutely steamed by reviewers back in the day. Then I got 20 minutes in and it mag dumped everything it had on me. That being sex and pee. Horny cutscenes that just trap you in a room for what seems like 20 minutes. And you have to listen to 2 characters talk about boobs or something. You can't do anything here but just stand, and the only thing that's in my way is this one guy. Get out of my way. I do not care that you get no women. The turret sequences are an absolute spectacle. And by that I mean they're pretty bad and they're the same thing over and over again. So I'm happy to say that the foot battles are the same thing over and over again as well. There is one saving grace to all this, and that is that you can play pool. Well, hold on, there's 2. You get to write your own signature and it's pretty sick. So it essentially negates all my complaints, throw them out the window. I am loving every second of this. The misogyny is crazy and constant, and I groaned throughout the entire game. The aliens steal all the women and attack the Hoover Dam at the same time.
They're taking the dam, Duke. The Hoover Dam. However, we've got even more immediate problems. They're taking our women, Duke.
And Duke decides, like a king, that he doesn't care about the Hoover Dam. He wants to save the baddies of the world.
Screw the dam. Where are they taking our chicks?
Punching aliens is sick, and the ragdoll physics are funny in a 2014 kind of way. When Duke even thinks about upping his pace in the slightest, he instantly starts heaving like Sam Sulek 2 sentences in. Even though the Kick Jim Jim I Came Chew Gum line isn't from Duke Nukem, it is the reason I and the majority of people know about that line, so iconic. But right now my score is only an 8 out of 10. What on earth can I do to raise my ranking?
It's a new age for humanity. We can't afford to shoot first and ask questions later just because we suspect they might still have WMDs.
There it is, a George W. Bush reference. It's the perfect game. 10 out of 10. The Lord of the Rings Gollum, Jesus Christ, oh my goodness. Please be kind to me. Please be kind to me. Maybe all the other people were wrong. Maybe there was a patch that fixed everything, but I need to learn to let myself have my own experiences and to not go in with preconceived notions of badness and goodness. Okay, here we go. Gollum hair simulation? What hair? What is there to simulate? Thank God for giving me the option though. I'm turning that baby on. I like being Gollum, the little goblin guy that weasels himself around as an expert free soloer. Man, this guy has some bouldering abilities. He runs straight up a wall like a dog after a frisbee, but only if they have these 3 lines on him. You can't run up every wall. I mean, who would want to run up every wall? No one wants that. He can run along the wall too. Hey, close enough. Welcome back, Titanfall 2. The crouching makes me a little bit angry. Like, he's already on 4s. Why do I need to hit a button to go 2 inches lower to fit through this grate? And I can only squeeze through half the time. This game is set right in the dead middle of the most amazing fantasy story of all time. And it's all going on in the background, and you know it is, while being forced to pay attention to the most pathetic character in the lore. I'm lucky that Gollum is my favorite character from the Lord of the Rings. And my persona, so I don't mind. Give Gollum some points. Give Gollum some points. Give Gollum some points. I am hyped for the Gollum movie trilogy. That's going to be awful. It is an instant game over if you do anything not exactly the way the devs intended. Get caught? Well, unless the orc is 50 feet away from you, they instantly catch you and bash your brains in. Deserved? Most of the game is stealth with some platforming and trailing missions sprinkled in there. This game is just Gollum constantly failing upwards and being humiliated. I'd be surprised if there isn't a cutscene of him just being peed on in this game. There's this vague display of choices of whether to go full-on Gollum mode and be evil or go full-on Smeagol mode and be good. I tried going full Gollum mode, but it makes little difference. No matter what you pick, your Gollum is too pathetic to even kill this little bug and gets imprisoned. Speaking of imprisoned, most of my playthrough I was just doing slave labor with my other slave friend, the Frail Man, who doesn't help at all and just watches me do both of our work.
What's the frail man's job?
I'll keep watch.
I bore witness to the infamous wait in line objective, and it was spectacular. How has something like this never been done before, I wonder? It is genius. That's some points. All right, here's my last point before the climax. Every copy of Gollum is personalized. In my copy, every time I died, Gollum would say the line, "What does beast mean, Gretchen? What does it mean?" It means he's going to feed you to some beast. No matter the level, this just plays over and over again. And it is really easy to die in this game. But death doesn't affect me anymore. I mean, I got over that in Sonic 06. I ended up dying in the perfect way that the game hard locked me on Chapter 2, Episode 4, in a constant death loop. I try to restart the checkpoint, and the same thing happens. I try to restart the whole level, and the same thing happens. I go to the main menu and pick the level from there, and the same thing happens, with a different cutscene. I try to go to the level before and play it up until that point, and the same thing happens. I cannot play any more of this game without uninstalling and reinstalling, and that gives it a point in my book. Thank you for sparing me, Gollum. Thank you for sparing me, Gollum. Your hair simulation was tremendous. I love the Frail Man's beard. I appreciate your PS2 graphics. 10 out of 10. This video has been a great revealer of how low my standards are. Why did I have fun playing Sonic 06? Why did I have fun playing Sonic 06? That's something I'm going to be unpacking for a while because it might be peak. I mean, I'm thinking about playing it right now. Lord of the Rings Gollum and Duke Nukem Forever, though. I'd need Minecraft parkour to go underneath it. They are all flawless games. Perfect 10 out of 10. No problems. I can't recommend them. I can't recommend them enough. Subscribe to Gag Nutties. Ooh, this is the good stuff.